Spider-Man writers. Who is this? I don't even know who wrote this. I'm not. Spider-Man edition 86. Amazing Spider-Man. I didn't start reading until edition 75. 75 and before I know very little of. But 75 started with Peter going to a coma. And Ben Riley takes over the mantle. He's the clone. If you read Clone Conspiracy and all that when he was Jackal, you'll know that Ben Riley's still around. He stayed around. And my time after that is I didn't read. This is giving me a headache. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is my first recap issue of this edition, so I've read again from 75 to 86. Ben Riley has been through hell and back with Beyond. Beyond is the organization that bought out Parker Industries when Superior Spider-Man started, that Doc Ock started when this is Superior Spider-Man. See, I remember there's the tie-ins. If I didn't know that stuff, I wouldn't be able to ramble like this, but this is me rambling because I know there's so much going on. As you can see on my face, I'm getting frustrated because the more I read of this Ben Riley saga, the worse it's getting, in my opinion. Anyways, Parker Industries, Superior Spider-Man goes away. Peter Parker comes back in his own body after Superior Spider-Man. Takes over Parker Industries flops. Somewhere after that, I had stopped reading, and then I collected comics again as of a month ago. And Beyond owns it, but Doc Ock finds out about Beyond and what they've done with his research and how they're treating people. And in 85, Ben Riley finds out from Doc Ock all the details of what Beyond is and how they've been mistreating everybody and lying. So I'm gonna get into it. As longest winded recap I could give you in like almost 6 years worth of Spider-Man, and it's a horrible recap. But edition 86 starts with Ben Riley talking to his therapist at Beyond. He's required to talk to his therapist. He's got a penthouse with his girlfriend who was a prisoner. I don't know these stories. I don't know before 75 who's living there, but he lashed out. Ben lashed out. He was on a mission. He was told not to go in. The therapist is like, why are you being this way? What are you doing? And he went in, essentially fought the bad guy, but the bad guy destroyed the building because it was a 110-year-old building. It went up in blaze. Nobody was hurt or killed, but they weren't understanding why Ben was like this. So Ben is talking to his therapist and essentially is trying to find the words to tell her that he doesn't trust Beyond. Well, he flat out tells her because she tells him that she doesn't trust them either, and that since she's a therapist, she's given 100% proof that nobody listens on their sessions. Well, Lord behold, the Beyond boss is listening to every session about their talks and whatnot, and the boss goes, she actually believed that. And one of the researchers goes, should I turn off the mics? And she goes, the boss of Beyond goes, don't be prude. This is just getting good. I don't want to miss anything important. Because the therapist said, we can speak freely here. They're contractually barred from monitoring us. And every session, everything they do with Ben and his girlfriend are watched, essentially. So the end of 85 ended with Ben saying, I'm going to go wash up after his fight with Doc Ock because they're listening. He said, the drive was destroyed. I beat Doc Ock one-on-one. It was a great day. Can you wash my mask? I'm going to freshen up. Well, they show that conversation here in edition 86. He goes to give his girlfriend the mask, and while doing so, the drive is in the mask. So the girlfriend of Ben hides it. I believe her name is Janine. I'm going to get to that point. And while doing so, there's a recap of Janine going through the files and finding out everything that Beyond has done, all the plans that they've essentially stolen from Doc Ock and plan to pursue, Ben says the superhero game isn't the only one thing they're playing. He says we're all in danger. And so when that happens, the therapist says, "What are you talking? What are you saying?" Ben says the UFOs weren't, and then it cuts. We don't know. I have a brief knowledge of the UFOs. I don't know. Again, there's a Beyond side story. There is anything pre 75. I have no idea, but I know UFOs were who the bad guy premise was in one of the arcs of many Spider-Man in this edition. So once Ben says that, they start zapping him, they freeze him, and they do this, I guess, to sedate him. They're going to wipe his memory. They wiped Ben's memory after he wanted to become Spider-Man when Peter was, hurt or in a coma. Well, they go through this process again to remove Ben's memory, and all of the memories he had with his previous conversation with Doc Ock is where they start, and the therapist is begging to not let that happen. The guy that essentially is in Ben's ear, he's pretty much his AI, or not even, he's a real person, but he's the guy that tells Ben what he can and can't do when he's on a mission. His name is Marcus. He goes to check on Janine, and while doing so, the door's closed. Janine is packing a bag, and Marcus is like, "I think you should just sit tight. It'll be good for you." And Janine opens the door while Marcus's back is turned, puts a knife to his neck, and says, "I think you guys need to start remembering what I used to be." She was in jail, and obviously she wants to get out of Beyond's holding, and Ben wants to get out because she knows the information. So as that transpires, they start removing all the memories of Ben. They remove the Doc Ock, and something happens. But before I get to the final pieces of this, the doctor that's removing the memories in Ben Reilly says, "Miss Danger, it's Marcus. He's asking for security clearance to leave with a guest." And they don't mention the guest. The guest is Janine because Janine has him hostage. And Danger says, "What? Why?" And the doctor says he couldn't give details and was adamant if that was a problem, he doesn't mind being detained. And she says, "Whatever, fine, let him go." So once that's done, they realize, why are they back in this memory? And the memory is Spider-Man looking at Spider-Man, and it says, "Huh, who the heck are you, fella? And where's the Jackal?" So they're all the way back. All of a sudden, the memory of Jackal is back for Ben, even though the therapist said they wiped it, and they know they wiped it. The doctor says there's an instability in the formative memories. Danger says, what is this? The memories are destabilizing, and all the memories are like just going every which way. Everything's coming back, but everything's going. And Danger says, "Stop pulling." And the doctor says, "I'm not. This isn't a demolition." And when he said the final words is, "It's a collapse." His memories are just, he's going through a collapse of every memory. And so Ben Reilly is either again going to have his mind wiped, or he's going to go through all the process of being bad again. I don't know. I really don't know where they're going with this anymore, because we know Spider-Man comes back. Peter Parker's Spider-Man comes back in the April edition. So I don't know how long the run is for this, because the next side story is Black Cat and Mary Jane. I don't read much of the Beyond stuff that is side to this. I don't know if they're going to kill Ben Reilly. I don't know what Peter... They've been hush-hush about Peter late. Peter's back. Peter is going through rehab right now. Peter is getting back up on his feet. But if many of you have seen the preview the preview image for Amazing Spider-Man in April, he's on his knees, suit ripped, and it looks like the city's destroyed. So I don't know if a big fight with Ben Reilly is coming. I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about this, man. I was really excited to get back into reading this, and I mentioned this in Venom. They get rid of the main guy just to bring back the main guy later when they give you a little side. They give you a side of a new... Obviously, Ben Reilly's not new, but there hasn't been much substance around Ben fighting bad guys. The bad guy for him is Beyond, and we're trying to figure out where they go from there. So if any of you have read anything previous to 75, let me know a backstory of the UFOs, or just let me know where you think this is going. I know a lot of people dislike Spider-Man. I know a lot of people are tired of the Spider-Man stories. I get that. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. I have a plethora of Spider-Man comics, and it's pretty much all Spider-Man, Venom, and a couple other things. But I'm very excited for this to end and for them to move on to back to Peter, I guess. because I missed out on Peter 1 through 70 edition 75 4 essentially. So let me know what you guys think. It's not my favorite. It's not the worst, but I'm also gonna read and review the 1 through 5 of the new Ben Reilly side saga that they've got out right now. So we'll see if that kind of closes this off. Let me know what you guys thought. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll talk to you later. Peace.